Hello, bookish friends. Welcome back to Amanda's Bookish Adventures. And today is my July reset on reading TBR. So, for the month of June, even though it's not over, I've read 7 things, one physical, and the rest were digital. It's a big problem. I say it every month. It is like one of my biggest problems that I have been having this entire year. But I am hopeful to. This is why I put some rereads on here, which the one physical thing I have read for the month of June was a reread. So we did put some rereads, new releases that you've seen from previous book hauls, some that's a spoiler for just one for one of the book haul for June's book haul that comes next week. So I kind of have a theme going for like 4 books, but I'll tell you like what the theme is for reading vlogs after. So I want to reread Death and Desire by Christine S. Blackster. Look at that cover. Isn't that so good? So I love mythology and I love Egypt, and this one was my favorite book of last year. And I did not film a lot, so I don't have a vlog or even like videos of me talking about this, but Death and Desire, beautiful. Violet Connolly's obsession with Egypt begins when she was a little girl. She's treasured the previous gem her mother purchased from a street vendor while visiting Cairo, and one day hopes to visit the country that haunts her dreams. When her father schedules a business trip, she convinces him to let her come, but her concession comes with strings. Her brother must accompany her on every outing. Her dream of seeing Cairo in all its splendor is dashed when her father and his best friend fail to uphold their agreement. Her father hires Khalid, a local bodyguard, to protect her, determined to enjoy Egypt on her terms without a stoic stranger following her. No matter how many handsome he is, Violet abandons all caution, only to find herself in mortal danger. Violet quickly discovers she's the new protector is far more than a hired goon. He is Anubis, god of the dead, and he's set his sights on the one thing Violet treasures more than life itself, the jewels she wears in memory of her late mother. But it seems Anubis is not the only one who's enticed by such a treasure. I was hoping this would become a series of Egyptian gods because the mythology, it was so good, and the size is perfect. It was a 5 star, so I'm so happy to be diving back into this world and reading it. I really need to see if she's got any similar books because it's been a year since I purchased this. If maybe it is a series, and if it is, I've got to pre-order that. But majority, it does sound like The Mummy. That's why I love the book. I don't know why. I need to put some lotion on when I'm done. I'm itchy. My skin's dry. This was one of my favorite reads, and that cover, this was like floating around all in 2024 and the year before that, before I read the description of this book. The cover is what bought it. I do also own it for Kindle. I pre-ordered both and I didn't even realize, but I'm happy to have the physical copy. This book is not leaving my shelves anytime soon. Here are some more rereads. We have the very popular Kiss Quotient by Helen Hong, but I'm only reading the description of the first book. Stella Lane has come up with algorithms to predict customers' purchases, a job she given her more money than she knows what to do with, and the way less experienced in dating department than the average 30-year-old. Doesn't help that Stella has Asperger's, or the French kissing reminds her of a shark getting its teeth cleaned by a pilot fish. Her conclusion is she needs a lot of practice with a professional, which is why she hires escort Michael Pan or Fan. It's probably with an it's PH, so I think it's like pho. With the looks of a K-drama star and martial arts moves to match, the Vietnamese Swedish stunner can't afford to turn down Stella's offer. And when she comes up with a lesson plan, he proves he's willing to help her check off all the boxes from foreplay to the more the missionary positions. Before long, Stella not only learns to appreciate his kisses, but to crave all of the other things he makes her feel. Their nonsense partnership makes a strange kind of sense, and the pattern emerges. Will Stella convince that love is the best kind of logic? So, Helen Hong has not written anything since her companion novels in this series, and I am sad because I loved the series. I have reread this. I remember there was one time I stayed up 24 hours reading the entire series, and I might just do it again. But it is an amazing series, and I love every one of them. The first two were 5 stars, and even though I gave the third book in the series 5 stars, it feels more like a 4.5 because it was a different narration how she written the first two. So we also have the bride test, and we have the heart principle, which was the 4.5. I will have to say, in the first two books, the lead of the romance in this one of my favorite characters. Even though I love the characters in the romances in that book, he was the best. And then when you get to this, it's very different from how he was in those books, which is okay because it was a new style Helen Hong tried. But I'm just excited to dive back into this world, and some rereads sound perfect. Now, you've seen this from a previous haul. I think this would be fun. A fun summer read. Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. Maya Kilgore is 23 and is still processing of figuring out her life. Connor Harkness is 38 and Maya cannot stop thinking about him. It's such a cliche, it almost makes her heart implode. Older man and younger woman, successful biotech guy, struggling grad student, brother's best friend, and the girl he never even knew existed. And Connor loves to remind her the power dynamic is too imbalanced. Any relationship between them would be problematic. It's too many ways to count. And Maya should just get over him after all. He's made it clear that he wants her gone from his life. But everything is as it seems, and cliches sometimes become plot twists. I need to push that back because that's driving me nuts. When Maya's brother decides to get married in Tormine, she and Connor end up stuck together in a romantic Sicilian villa for over a week. There on the beautiful Lyon coast, become between ancient ruins, delicious foods, and natural caves, Maya realizes Connor might be hiding something from her. And as the destination wedding begins to erupt out of control, she decides that a summer fling might be just what she needs, even if it's a problematic one. I'm excited. It's going to be a very different take from Ali Hazelwood's. Yes, I have two other Ali Hazelwood, probably three that I have not started, but this just perfect for summer. And I'm gonna have to tell you, I really like a good age. Not like I love age gaps in romances. I'm sorry, I do. I like normal romances too, but I love a good age. So I had to cut myself off. I really need a drink of water, so I'm gonna read. Even though you haven't seen it, I'm gonna read some descriptions over again. These could be out of order. They might be out of order. Who knows? Behooved by M. Stevenson, the fate of the kingdom is riding on them. Bianca knows her duty comes before her heart, so when the threat of war looms, she agrees to marry the neighboring kingdom's heir. But not all royal weddings are a fairy tale, and Prince Eric and Bianca's betrothed is cold and aloof and seems to hate her on sight. To make matters worse, on their wedding night, an assassination attempt goes awry, leaving Eric magically transformed into a horse. Bianca does what any bride in this situation would do. She mounts her new husband and rides away to safety. Sunset returns Eric to human form, but they soon discover the assassination attempt is part of a larger plot against the throne. Worse, Bianca has now been framed for Eric's murder, and she now straddled with a husband who is horse by day and fashionably attractive man by night. As unexpected romance begins a galloping away with their hearts, Bianca and Eric must rely on each other to unravel the curse and save the throne. Oh, I knew it. Published it. I'm going to have to do, I think, at the end of the year, because I've done a book haul, but I think I'm going to do like my favorite covers of the year in publishing houses. I cannot tell you how many books I have bought in this year from Bramble. And I have more that even though they're pre-ordered and I don't pay attention to the publishing house until it gets here, I'm pretty sure Bramble is majority. I'm going to count. I'm going to do a video for Bookmas or something, how many books I bought from Bramble this year and the amount it cost me, because the covers they've just been on top of the game. The covers, the sprayed edges, they've just top of the game this year. We have another mythology. That's a retelling. This is mythology. We have one more mythology after this. So it's the Legends of Manika, and it's a Hindu mythology. Across the mortal and immortal realms, celestial dancers known as Asparas are revered for their beauty and allured and enchanting magic. But Manika knows that is not all they are. Trained as a weapon and a warrior, Manika despises leaving each of her marks in the thrall to her potent illusions. With every seduction, the Lord Indra, kingdom of heaven, demands of her, for his political gain. She craves freedom and gains freedom. She craves her freedom more and more. When a mortal sage, growing power threatens Indra's supremacy in his own realm, Manika seizes a rare opportunity. She strikes a deal. If she can seduce this dangerous man, Indra will allow her to forego future missions. But upon meeting the sage, Carissa, Manika finds herself captivated by his energy and enlightenment, by his empathy and passion, even though he challenges everything she's ever known. Can she overthrow the man who is little by little stealing her heart, or is Shika seducing her instead? As war looms in the skies, Manika must choose between her duty to protect her home and the sage who is showing her what true love can mean. Now, it is a duology, and I don't know if the second book has a release date. I'm going to double check because it's been a couple months since I've hauled it. Just want to get the pre order going because I know I'm going to finish the duology. I think it would be quite a book, and the cover art alone is beautiful. Now, I know we talked about here's a theme. There might be like reading vlogs that have themes. Here is the other theme, and if the book that was supposed to come but is being shipped from the UK, it's gonna take a while. I might see if I could squeeze on if I get it in time to read it with these two books. But we have The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gilling, and I got the Barnes and Noble edition if you've seen May's book haul. This is the theme of this reading vlog that we will do. I will show you the cover. You'll see it better. Alright, so the description says Sybil Dilling has spent 9 years dreaming of having no dreams at all. But unlike the fondling girls who trade a decade of service for a home in the great cathedral, Sybil is a diviner, and in her dreams she receives wisdom from 6 unearthly figures known as the Omens. From then, she can predict terrible things before they occur, and lords and common folk alike travel across the stone-water kingdoms, windswept moors, and craggy mountains to learn their futures. By her dreams, just as she and her sister diviners near the end of their service, a mysterious knight arrives at the cathedral, rude, heretical, and devilishly handsome. The knight Roderick has no respect for Sybil's visions, but when Sybil's fellow diviners begin to vanish one by one, she has no choice but seek his help in finding them, for the world outside the cathedral is cloister and wrought with peril. Only the gods have answers she is seeking, and as she rather avoid Roderick's dark eyes and sharp tongue, only a heretic can defeat a god. I'm hoping this is a series. I'm hoping at the end of it, like, we have a different knight couple, a different diviner, or something like that, or like a series between them. I don't know, but I'm really hoping for a series of that. We have two more books. So we have His Face is the Sun by Michelle Jobs Corpa. And I think this came out in the last book, Hall 2 or the one previous. Princess, Priestess, Rebel, Thief. Tensions run hot as the Kashmir winds in the great kingdom of Ketra. Rumors of the pharaoh's mysterious illness abound, and with the murmurs of rebelling grow. Meanwhile, in a quiet desert, a forgotten oracle begins to unfold a dark prophecy into action and drawing together four strangers. Princess Sita lives in the evidence of the palace, and moment of passion she had masked the betrayal that will put her life and the entire royal court in grave danger. A priestess in training, Neef, strives to understand her intense visions from the gods, except theirs is not the only magic in the Grand Temple. As a farmer's daughter, Ray knows much the Pharaoh's men have taken from her land, and the people still who will keep forward to confront the king. Karim was raised amongst the pyramids of the Red Lands and survives the wealth of the dead as a tomb raider. But amid the spoils, an ancient evil awakens. Bloodshed is coming. Only these four have the potential to save the kingdom from destruction. But when dust has settled, who will sit on the throne of Khatri? That book is heavy. To hold it with one hand, that book is heavy. Now we have a graphic novel. Actually, this kind of goes on the theme of the other books, but this will be read by itself. So this is a sequel, Suit Armor Volume 2. Now, I really want to say Suit of Armor. The first book was my favorite one of my favorite reads in July, and it is a webtoon graphic novel. Not webtoon, webtoon graphic novel, and the webtoon has been doing great with actually publishing these. So I'm gonna just tell you a little bit about the first one. Lucina is the handmaiden to the future queen of the kingdom, and the kingdom's at war with elves and fairies and magic. Regardless, humans have like laws about magic. Well, she meets the armor who was created by a guy Nox, and it's basically her and armor, a being of magic, both beings of magic, kind of getting there and starting romantic relationships with a hidden war going on. And in volume 2, Lucina has apprentice trainings with Nox to learn her magic. We have war, we have political intrigue, and I just feel like it's the perfect to continue on. I think volume 3 comes out sometime in the next couple months, and I would like to get cracking on volume 2. Now, have you made a guess of what the theme vlogs are going to be for the month of July? Let me grab. I'll be back. I cannot grab all these books and in this messy style, so I will get them and tell you some of the themes for the month of July. So, for one of the theme vlogs, we're going to do kind of a medieval vlog. If the one book arrives early, I think it's called Lady of the Lake. If not, I have another one. I want nights. I think you know how we have Renaissance fairs beginning of summer. I would like to go into more of that. So we have Behooved and the second one that's right here for that week of Flaming the Night and the Moth. So that will be a week of kind of reading those as a theme. The next week will be Egyptian mythology. I don't know if I'm going to start the month of July. And I was wrong. I think I said in the earlier that I read these in 24 hours. I was wrong. I read this in 24 hours with another contemporary, a bunch of contemporaries. I think it'd be fun to see as a video if we could read the entirety of this trilogy, companion romance trilogy, as a 24-hour reading vlog. I think before I damage that cover, I'm going to move that. So I think that would be fun. So there's definitely going to be some vlog challenges. There probably will be Kindle reads. I do need to finish a reading vlog back from May, a couple reading vlogs back in May that I started that I never finished, so that is gonna be going on in the background. But I could read, like I've said previously, in like vlogs and clips that I can read those while I'm at work and then come home and read these books. So I know in the beginning of June's reset, I said it wouldn't be a lot of reading because of that game. I'd have beaten, I did win the game and I am going to be playing it throughout. But I really did. I'm gonna have to say, I really did miss reading. It was just, it was in the back of my mind, even though I was so hardcore from June 5th to, I think I finished the game with a very busy work schedule on June 12th. I flew through it and I played on hard mode, which I normally always start the game with easy mode, but I went to hard mode and it made it more extreme, but it was just so good. And yes, I'll keep playing it a bit, but I really missed reading. I miss talking to you guys. And if you've read any of these books, let me hear your thoughts down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.